Hi guys,
Mhm.
thank you and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be interviewing Melanie Ann of Melanie Ann Photography. Melanie, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so excited to have you. And I just wanted to start this conversation by asking you, how old are you and what is your business?
I'm currently 29. I feel like I'm 39. I'm in the wedding industry. I'm a destination wedding photographer, and I've been shooting since I was 15. So that's why I feel like I'm older than I am.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh, destination weddings. That sounds like a dream job. So I guess it's pretty self-explanatory. The second part of that question, how do you make your money? So do you have packages for people?
I do. I like to spend the whole day with my couples. Wedding photography is a really intimate and sensitive thing. It's you pay a lot of money to get married, and I'm a source to relive that. So I like to be there the whole day. I'm really into storytelling.
Mhm.
So my packages are based on day rates, and that's how I make my money. I am a photographer. I shoot from 40 to 60 weddings a year. And during the week, I edit and I help other photographers out and I edit for them too. So my whole life and streams of income is all within the bridal industry.
That's amazing. It sounds like you're really passionate about what you do, turning this into, your sounds like your full-time job. What was it that made you take the leap into pursuing a career like this? Because I know the photography industry sometimes can seem overwhelming or oversaturated. So what made you take that leap?
Um, I like to think that it found me.
Mhm.
I was in the right place at the right time when I was really young, and I got into a group with some friends, and their parents were into photography, and they kind of just took me under their wing, and I ran with that. I loved it. I loved how important, I'm adding value to the day. I get to be a part of people's family for the day, and taking the leap was just when it was presented to me. I was about 15, 16, and I started my own company. I ventured out on my own a few years later when I was 21. So I would say I was always very passionate about it, but taking the leap and being legal and having your own company and
Yeah.
building a team and all that was about when
Mhm.
I was 21. Hmm.
Wow, that's awesome. So
Yeah.
young, but I mean, hey, that's like, I feel like, in my opinion, that's the best time to do it because you have so much drive and energy.
Yes.
So what are one or two things, going on to my next question, what are one or two things that you did when you started out to help grow your company, get those clients, get your name out there and get exposure?
Um, I love people. I like being around people. So for me, I was already working for so many other photographers. So I just made
Mhm.
sure I was a resource to the community. If I had a specific hairstylist or I went to a church or anything like that within community, I would offer my services at that time because everyone needs marketing and pictures for content. Even before the whole
Yeah.
social media age, you needed something tangible to like say, this is what we did at this moment. And I just took an opportunity with that. And like I mentioned before, I edited for other photographers. I would help them edit their images and their body of
Mhm.
work. And it helped me get out there. And I just like being a part of a team. I work for other photographers, and when they can't take on a specific date, I would shoot for them. And then it just was this domino effect of building my own people and shooting for them. And then I started to travel, and that was that was pretty much like it just catapulted me into this adrenaline rush where I was like, I can travel somewhere really far, take pictures at a wedding, and they want me to come back eventually and I'll do it all over again or go to another country. And it snowballed to my love for traveling and my love for photography just like mended together. It was awesome.
That's amazing. I love that you weren't afraid to, put yourself out there to start out and get those connections. I think people, um, it's so easy for people to feel overwhelmed when they start out because they don't know how to build those connections. So I think that's great advice for people starting out. Talk to the people that you know or who you're around already. So if you know the people in your church already, or wherever you get your hair done. Like those are great tips for people. All right, Melanie. So on to the next question. Who would you say has been your biggest support system? I know before you mentioned that your parents are kind of what got you into the whole photography side of things. But from then to now, who has been your biggest support system in your business?
I think just overall family and friends.
Mhm.
They saw something in me way before I saw it in myself. And I would say my brother. He's like
Okay.
number one fan, like cheerleader all the way. Anytime, ups, downs, happy moments, sad
Hmm.
moments, just overall guidance. He's always there for me. So yeah, definitely family.
Awesome. I love that. I'm so close to my brother too, so I can definitely relate to that. And what is something that you know now that you wish you would have known when you started?
Oh, that's a really great question. Um, I would say don't doubt your confidence. You know, there's certain
Okay.
guidelines and rules that you want to abide by in any industry that you enter at a young age.
Yeah.
Fear might get the best of you. And I didn't do too much of the fear. I kind of just like went for it. But there were certain moments that I potentially could have um, just done better and it progressed in quicker. But all in all, it's everybody has their own process and in their own time.
Hmm.
But if I would have definitely been a little bit more confident, it doesn't matter about anything else. You just are excited about what you're doing and it will work out because you're consistent. So
Would you
being
say it was would you say
fearless.
it was more the confidence in your skill set or confidence in getting clients and getting the work?
I think a little bit of both. If you're confident in yourself, you know, clients will see that and be
Hmm.
confident in you too. So if I maybe would have had a little bit more support on the business side for sure,
Hmm.
I would have been more confident. Yeah. So just be confident. Ask a lot of questions. A lot of questions.
That's awesome. That it's interesting that you say that. You're not the first person that I've met that has brought up being confident in the business portion of things. I think that we don't get taught in school or in college really how to start a business and what all goes into it. So, learning those necessary skills like taxes and starting an LLC and everything can definitely be fear mongering. So that's interesting that you bring that up. For my next question, I want to ask, what is a CEO or leader that you are following or who has inspired you in your business?
There's so many. um I think a lot of people will share in the idea of following Jada Pinkett Smith, Will Smith, her
Okay.
husband, the Gary V's of the world, the Jay Shetty's. His wife is also pretty awesome too. I follow a lot of people that are just positive all around.
Okay.
Um, I wouldn't in particular say one
Mhm.
person. I like to listen to different views. Um, but definitely Jada Pinkett Smith is an everyday thing. I like follow
What
everything.
is it about her that makes you want to follow her or that inspires you?
I like, aside from anything that has to do with commercial things, her as a person and her continuous growth, even at an older age and being a woman and being a wife and a mother, she's okay with continuing to learn no matter what. And that just is very attractive to me. It's something that I strive to do when I have children one day. I want to instill that concept that it's okay to continue learning no matter where you are in your life. And I love that.
That's so good. And that kind of trickles on to my next question. Who is a podcaster or what is a book that you are listening to right now that you would recommend to our listeners?
The podcast that's on play right now for me is Gold Digger. It's a podcast by Jenna Kutcher.
GOAL or
Yes,
GOLD?
no, definitely goal.
Okay.
Al Digger, and she's like this online marketing expert, like guru. And her voice, literally her actual tone of voice and her energy, just brings a lot of positivity on the best way to showcase yourself to the world, especially
Yeah.
online. And it's just a really good listen. It's really easy to digest information
Mhm.
that you just can't pass it up. I listen to her podcast and it'll just run in the background and I'm just absorbing information. It's really good.
Awesome. I'm gonna look that up. Gold digger.
Yeah. And
GOAL
it's
digger.
catchy.
Yeah, I like it. That's very cute.
Yeah.
What is a piece of advice that you could give to our audience, either in business in general, or if there's any aspiring photographers listening, what is something a piece of advice that you would give them?
It's never going to be perfect. As hard as you are going to work towards trying to put out content, brand yourself,
Mhm.
communicate with people, network, it's never going to be perfect. So just put yourself out there in the best way that you possibly can and just continue to educate yourself. That's the best thing. And community is really important.
Mhm.
Always try and find a tribe or just people to reach out to and be open to any type of constructive criticism so you can always grow and you won't stay stagnant.
Love it. Awesome. And we're almost done, I promise, Melanie. But before we go, now's your chance to hype yourself up. So, where can we find you? Where can we learn about more of your products and services? If we want a destination wedding, who are we going to call? Tell us.
I spend a lot of time on Instagram and Facebook, and I'm updating my website very soon. But it is launched. It has a little older feel, but we're gonna change that soon. It's melanieannphotography.com, and my Instagram is Melanie Ann Photo, and it's spelled MELANIEANNE photo. And I'm also working on a Pinterest, so I got some pin-worthy things coming at you
Yay.
real soon.
That's
Yeah,
so
connect
exciting.
with me on Instagram.
Awesome. Perfect. I'll make sure to link everything in the description box below. Melanie, thank you so much for chatting with me today and answering those questions. I'm sure anyone who is listening, if they're an aspiring photographer or an aspiring businesswoman, will take so much out of what you said. And it was a pleasure speaking with you today. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Yeah.